Thank you for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on the front page of Nigerian newspapers, and I begin with the Salient Times. The major story here says Lassa fever, 227 die as over 1,200 infected in 28 states. NCDC activates emergency operations. Really sad development there. And then the picture is depicting a 14-story building in Mandilas located on Lagos Island, which caught fire on Sunday. The fire incident is said to have originated on the first floor and got to the fourth floor. Millions of naira, properties worth millions of naira were said to have been destroyed in that fire incident. And then another story here: police arrest spiritualists who defraud women in nude videos in Benin, with nude videos in Benin, and DLA intercepts 1,274 parcels of cocaine arms in Lagos. Lagos bans usage of styrofoam, that's also known as takeaway packs. The state is saying that this is causing some environmental damage, especially when you look at the blockage of drainage systems. Then there is disquiet in the CBN, FAN over plan to relocate key departments to Lagos. Adeleke's government blames ex-governor Oyetola for rot in Osun education sector. These are some of the stories you find on the front page of the Salient Times. We'll move now to the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. And the major story here is talking about how abuse of ways and means worsened inflation. How abuse of ways and means worsened inflation. For the rise expected in first quarter of 2024. More controversy trails securitization of ways and means. Economists, analysts caution the federal government over CBN's act. It will take 40 years to resolve the problems, analysts are saying this. And then a story here that would interest you: wrong time to fall sick in Nigeria as cost of medicines skyrockets. Patient laments, skip medication, seek alternative treatment. Experts worry, propose urgent solutions. I recall the federal government has said that they were going to look into this matter of the high cost of medication. The president actually mentioned that he was going to deal with that head on. Then this other story: African Super Eagles target Group A top spot as they prepare for the final group game. How troops rescued Nabiha's sisters, other Abuja kidnap victims. These are some of the stories you find on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. And to the front page of this Nigerian newspaper now, the major story here says insecurity, over 60,000 lives lost in farmers' herders clashes nationwide, says next year report. Plateau Christmas Eve massacre, continuation of herders' bravado. And the picture here is of the 5 abducted Al-Qadariya sisters free at last in collaborative effort by the police anti-kidnapping squad and the Nigerian army in Abuja yesterday. Like we mentioned earlier, a controversy is being generated with regards to the story because of the statement made by the families of the kidnapped or rescued victims. Moving on now, police rescue Bari kidnapped victims, arrest fake abduction alert suspect. About an explosion, 90% of victims discharged from hospital, says Makinde. Has Energy's record transformational community engagement, others in 3 years. Take decisive measures to curb inflation, accounting body urges federal government. Now, Monday, sit-at-home cripples government activities in 5 southeast states. Civil servants, traders stay away from work due to IPOB, ESN threat. School pupils no longer sing national anthem over fear of agitators' action. A really worrying development there. Move quickly now to the Leadership newspaper. And the major story here: fuel subsidy removal, hardship persists 5 months after 72 billion naira palliatives. And you see an infograph there depicting How much was spent? 2 billion naira, 36 state government received 2 billion each in August. And in 5 months, millions of citizens faced with hardship month after. Then 4 states responded to leadership inquiry on 72 billion naira spending. All right, to other stories. ACF condemns relocation of CBN units FAN to Lagos. That's Iowa Consultative Forum has reacted to this move to relocate some of CBN units and Federal Airports Authority to Lagos. And minus others join federal government's $10 trillion investment drive. NBC Code Editors Guild hailed Justice Ophelia Jumogobia's verdict. 16 die, 4 injured in Zaria Kano Road accident. Some of the stories you find there. To the Punch newspaper now. Kidnapping epidemic, banks enabling rapid growth of abduction industry, experts are saying. Nigerians demand more from Tinubu security chiefs. Abuja family confirms ransom payment. And the picture there on the front page is looking at the fire incident at Mandela's yesterday. Goods destroyed as fire got 10-story Lagos Market building. An SEDC foiled 48 bandit attacks on schools. Commandant General is saying this. Biniore Expressway kidnappers freed my father after 3 million naira ransom. The son is saying forensic probe of Ibadan blast to determine next action. Some stories you find on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Ibrahim.
The Guardian newspaper is the first with me, with the headline, Skepticism over Inflation, Insecurity, Economic Outlook. You see that on page 6. Court orders CBN to release MTN's funds repatriation details. Leadership hurdles for opposition parties merger, mega structure. Lagos bans single-use plastics, Styrofoam, warns against indiscriminate storage of combustible items. Niger Delta youths to short flow stations, cut crude oil outputs. Theft drops by 82% as $1.2 billion OML-17 production hits 40,000 barrels per day. Falana urges states to abolish pension payments to ex-governors. That's it for the Guardian newspaper. Next is the First News newspaper. Over 5,000 Nigerians languishing in Benin Republic prisons. Ohanese Youth Council alleges extrajudicial killings, harassment, maltreatment, undue detention. Claims young Nigerians held in 13 different prisons in Benin Republic. Court delivers judgment on Rivers Assembly. Fubara suits today. Election litigation unnecessary distraction. Governor Abiodun. Supreme Court verdict. David Mark congratulates Oberewori Onyeme. Bandits kill man, abduct 16 family members in Niger community. Buhari prefers extraditing Nnamdi Kanu instead of killing him. Book reveals. Fire got 10-story Mandela's building in Lagos. Our 19-day experience in kidnappers' captivity freed Abuja sisters. That's about it for the First News. Nigerian News Direct is next. Northern groups allege plots to sideline North, kick against relocation of CBN units, found headquarters to Lagos. Federal government gives reasons for planned move. Economic prosperity, Rwanda calls for removal of restrictions on open market operations, increased interest rates above the masthead. Serap, 20 Nigerians file lawsuits against Akpabio Abbas over allocation increase to 344 billion naira. Under my watch, NCC will be an enabler for increased investments in telecoms sector, NAIDA, and NAFDAC intensifies tracking mechanism to curb narcotic abuse. Next is the Nation newspaper. Kidnapped sisters are ordeal in 19-day captivity. NSA Ribado leads Ibadan blast probe. And Jimo mobilizes Ondo for APC. After visiting 18 local government areas, Senator Ibrahim begins visits to 203 wards, introduces a Sheyori card, targets 1 million votes for 2024 and 2027 elections. The West is next. In bid to safeguard the environment, Lagos bans use of styrofoam, also known as takeaway packs, other single-use plastics. Contraband crackdown. We intercepted 484 million naira worth of illegal goods in 2023. Oyo Osun Customs Controller. Ibadan explosion. Oyo government ends search and rescue operation. Conducts integrity tests on 230 houses. Day 14-story Mandela's building went up in flames. Ogun moves against vandalism, launches solar-powered street lights. That's about it for, okay, well, AFCON Yusuf out, Iheanacho in, as Super Eagles file out against Guinea-Bissau in final group match, rather. Nature News is next. Why Lagos government bans single-use plastics, takeaway packs, WAPAN Secretary reacts. NLC demand for environmental cleanup of their communities. Kofi Annan Foundation opens applications for food security award. NCF intensifies Green Recovery Nigeria program. Fact check: Can fermented banana tree drink get rid of kidney stone disease? You can read that up on the front page or from the newspaper Nature News. Alake orders Mines Inspectorate investigation into cause of explosion in Oyo State. Kai Special Squad dislodge street traders in Lagos. That's about it for the Nature News newspaper. Next is Daily Trust. ACF rejects relocation of CBN FAN offices, mobilizes top northerners against moves. Nabiha's sister's freedom, police family disagree. 16 passengers die in Zaria-Kano highway crash. Electricity subsidy, federal government pays over 5 trillion naira in 10 years. And 21st Daily Trust Dialogue, Edo Ajaero, others to analyze Tinubu's reforms on Thursday. That's about it for the Daily Trust. The penultimate paper with me here is the Daily Independent. Despite CBN's tightening stance, banks' credit rises to 59.7 trillion naira. And fire got 10-story Mandela's building in Lagos. You see that on page 6. Lagos government bans usage of styrofoam, single-use plastics. Ibadan explosion, 90% of victims discharged from hospitals. That's according to Governor Makinde. And government is saying it commences integrity tests on surrounding structures. Lagos orders medical practitioners to register businesses or face sanctions. Ibadan explosion. Federal government awaits forensic investigation outcome to take decision. Police rescue man abducted on Abuja Highway. That's on the bottom strip. And above that is Tinubu backs two-state solution to end Israel or Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Seeks review of global tax system. Affirms commitment to multilateralism. Above the masthead, Serap orders ask courts to stop Akpabio, Abbas from increasing National Assembly budget. Nigeria's oil output may dip as youths plan to shut down flow stations. That's about it for the Daily Independent. And last but not least is the national economy. As prices of blue chips rise, investors shift to penny stocks. How to invest in Nigerian stock market with as low as 10,000 brokers. And above the nameplate, navigating inflation challenges as a small business. The Nigerian telecom market value may hit $11.43 billion in 5 years. On the bottom strip, Labour rules epileptic power supply 10 years after PHCN privatization. That's about it for the dailies this morning up for review.
Right. So many stories on the papers this morning talking about the release of the sisters and also the matter of the ban of the use of styrofoam packs in Lagos because of its environmental implication on the its implication on the environment and how it has damaged the environment, so to speak. But we know how Lagosians are when it comes to their meals. Those rush hours in the morning, these are the packs they use to pack those meals to get to work or eat in the bus, vehicle, whichever means of transportation they take as it is. And we know that most of these persons selling food on the roads, these are the things they use. What is the alternative the state is providing if we are saying that we are banning this? I understand its implication on the environment. I have no issues with it. But is there an alternative for people who are in this business? Because that's the concern now. How do they go about their businesses? What will they use? I
think it's as a result of our own indiscriminate use of these things. When we use them, we just throw them.
Our disposal.
We dispose them anyhow. And this goes ahead to block the drainages and all of that, and then we'll come back again when there's during the rainy season. Government everywhere is blocked, everywhere is flooded. And it's our doing. It's
our doing.
Right. So I don't know. I don't know. It's left to the government to, the government knows what impact this is causing. See what happened to Alaba markets. See what happened to, so many places, so many goods.
How they had to shut down some of these markets because of they not obeying the environmental laws as it is. I agree. We know the implication. It means that we are not doing enough with educating people with how to dispose of all of this.
What if people refuse to be educated? Several times you've seen people, dispose waste on the road. What's it called? Bottled water. After they are done with it, they throw it on the road. Even sachet water, they throw it indiscriminately. So it's all boils down to our own culture of doing things.
Absolutely.
We keep shouting, the West, in the abroad, they are so fine,
anyway,
fine
we have
roads
to leave
and all
this
of
conversation here now because we have our next conversation. Whatever the effort the government is putting in place is welcome, but there has to be an alternative for the people, basically.